This video shows you how to enter manual S data in Rhvac Online. Let's create a new project. Click the File menu. Click New Project. For this example, we need a blank project, so leave the blank project option selected. Click Create New Project. Enter a project title. This project will only be for entering manual S data, so we don't need to add any rooms or ducts. But since we do need to know the outdoor design conditions, let's go to that page. Click the Loads menu. Click Outdoor Design Conditions. Our project is for a house in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Click Select City. Select United States. Select Pennsylvania. Select Harrisburg. The temperatures and other outdoor conditions that we need for the manual S data are all filled in after selecting our city. Now we're ready to go to the Manual S Performance Data page. Click the Loads menu. Select Manual S Performance Data. We want the reports to say that we selected our equipment according to Manual S, so check this box. All of the capacity and load values we will enter on this page are in MBTUH, so we don't need to change the capacity units input. Our furnace is going to be a carrier model with a capacity of 125,000 BTUH, so enter its model number and capacity. The air conditioner will also be a carrier model. We are first going to use this page in simple mode, which means that we only have to enter one total capacity and one sensible capacity value. One way to get those two values is from the manufacturer's performance data software that shows you how the unit performs at your design conditions. You can then enter the sensible and total capacities in the adjusted inputs. In this example, we are instead going to use the nameplate data for the equipment, and we will enter our capacities in the nominal inputs. Whether you are allowed to use the nominal nameplate data for your Manual S report will depend on your local authorities. If your outdoor dry bulb temperature is at or under the 95-degree value used for the nominal data, they may allow it. In this example, we are going to use the nominal nameplate data, which we can get from the ahridirectory.org website. Click the link to open that website in a new tab of the browser. Our unit is a standard residential air conditioner. Click Product Type. Select Residential. Select Air Conditioners and Air Conditioner Coils. And finally, click AHRI Rating Conditions. In order to generate a list of air conditioners, we first need to enter some search criteria. Let's select both carrier entries in the outdoor unit brand name list. Now let's enter the first few characters of both the outdoor and indoor model numbers. This will show all carrier models that start with what we enter. Click the Search button. Notice that our search yielded 284 results. In this example, let's select the first result in our search. So in row 1, click the AHRI Certified Reference Number column. Let's copy a few things from this certificate and paste them into Rhvac Online. Start with the AHRI reference number. Now we need to switch back to the original tab with the Manual S page open in Rhvac Online. Click the tab. Paste in the AHRI reference number we copied. Now let's also copy the outdoor and indoor model numbers. Bring the Certificate tab back to the front. Now let's copy and paste the outdoor model number. Now let's copy and paste the indoor model number. We can see that the nominal total capacity is 18,000 BTUH. The nominal total capacity is 18 MBTUH. In this example, we're using the nominal nameplate data, which doesn't include anything about the sensible and latent capacities of the unit. Let's assume that this unit has a typical value of about 78% sensible capacity at our design conditions. So let's enter 14 and 4 MBTUH for the sensible and latent capacities. If you have used software from the manufacturer to determine your air conditioner's adjusted capacities at your design conditions, you could enter the results into these adjusted inputs. In simple mode, we can use either nominal or adjusted values. Since we are only entering manual S data in this project and we are not doing a load calculation, we must check the Allow Custom checkbox in order to directly enter our loads here. The loads that we enter should come from a load calculation program such as RHVAC. Let's say that our load calculation results show that the cooling load was 11.5 MBTUH sensible and 3 MBTUH latent. And let's say that the sensible loss from our calculation was 95 MBTUH, the heating entering dry bulb was 70 degrees, and the airflow is 600 CFM. Since we didn't do a load calculation in this project, the cooling design conditions here only show the 91 degree outdoor dry bulb. If we had done a load calculation, each of these boxes would be filled in and we could click Copy All to Design to fill in the design column below. Let's fill in each of the values in the design column of the interpolation conditions. Our summer outdoor dry bulb is 91 degrees. The supply airflow of our equipment is 600 CFM. Since we did not do a load calculation in this project, we need to calculate the entering wet bulb and dry bulb in order to show them on the manual S report. Click Calculate Entering Coil Point. Since we did select a design city and we did enter our custom loads, the only thing we need to enter is the supply airflow of our unit, which is 600 CFM. Now click Calculate Results to see the entering coil conditions. We can see that we did get results, so click Copy Results to Manual S page. Notice that our entering wet bulb and dry bulb have now been filled in. Since none of these interpolate checkboxes are checked, we are in Simple Mode. Simple mode makes it so we only have one row of data that we have to fill in and no interpolation is performed. Notice that in simple mode we may either copy values from the nominal inputs or the adjusted inputs. In our project we only entered values in the nominal inputs. Click Copy Nominal to copy the nominal, sensible, and total capacity values that we entered earlier into the first row of the interpolation grid. Our values were copied into the first row. And we can see that the interpolation results boxes are all filled in. We are now ready to take a look at the Manual S report, so click the File menu. Click Select Reports. The only report we want is Manual S, so click the Clear All button. Check the box for the Manual S Performance Data Report. Click Create Reports PDF. One of the most important parts of this Manual S report is the percent of load values. We want these values to show that the air conditioner has enough capacity to meet the load, but is not oversized too much. Now let's show how to enter data when we aren't in simple mode. Click the tab in the browser to bring Rhvac Online back to the front. Let's go back to the Manual S page. Click the Loads menu. Click Manual S Performance Data. In order to leave System 1 unchanged, let's copy System 1 to the program's clipboard, create a new system, and paste System 1's data into System 2. Click Copy System to copy System 1 to the clipboard. Click the System menu again. Click Add System. Click System again. Now click Paste System. System 2 is now a copy of System 1. Let's rename System 2 Interpolation, since we are going to enter performance data that will be interpolated by the program. Now let's open Elite Software's homepage, elitesoft.com, in a new tab of the browser. Select the Downloads menu and click Expanded Ratings Data. Click this link to get data for our carrier unit that we selected earlier. Our model is the first one in the list. Click the link and then we'll take a look at the PDF file. Remember that our project has an outdoor dry bulb of 91 degrees, so we will be using the 85 and 95 degree columns. And remember that our supply airflow is 600 CFM, so we'll be using the data in these rows. And remember that our entering wet bulb temperature, EWB, is 62.459. So we will be using data from this row, 62 EWB. And from this EWB equals 67 row. The 63 degree EWB is for a special case that we will not be using. Now we will bring the web browser back to the front so we can enter the data. Since our outdoor temperature is 91, we need to interpolate between the 85 and 95 degree columns on the PDF. So check the Interpolate box and enter 85 and 95 degrees for the next lower and next higher inputs. And since our entering wet bulb is 62.459, we need to interpolate between the 62 and 67 degree rows on the PDF. So check the box and enter those values for the next lower and next higher. The EWB column in the grid is still showing all 0 values, so we need to make the page refresh itself to show the EWB values we just entered. By clicking Calculate Results, the page will be refreshed to show the EWB values we just entered in the Interpolation Values grid. Since the needed numbers are all filled in now, we will know where to enter our data. Let's go look at the total and sensible capacity values for our first row. As you can see, row 1 is for these conditions. EWB equals 62, airflow equals 600, ODB equals 85. The values we need are 17.39 for the total capacity and 15.72 for the sensible. Now let's enter those two values into row 1. Row 2 is for the following conditions. EWB equals 62, airflow equals 600, ODB equals 95. This time the values we need to enter are 16.55 total capacity and 16.55 sensible. Enter those two values from the PDF into row 2. The next row will need values at the following conditions. EWB equals 67, airflow equals 600, ODB equals 85. The total and sensible capacity values this time are 19.03 and 13.19. Enter those values into the appropriate row. Our final row of data needs to be at the following conditions. EWB equals 67, airflow equals 600, ODB equals 95. The total and sensible capacity values this time are 18.00 and 12.80. Enter those two values into this row. The other adjustments inputs let you enter values from the manufacturer to adjust the capacity up or down for various reasons. Let's take a look at the manufacturer's notes in the PDF to see what kind of adjustments we need to make. This third note shows us that we need to make an adjustment due to the fact that our entering coil dry bulb temperature is 75, while the table values assume an EDB of 80. It says we are to reduce the sensible capacity using the following formula. 835 times 600 divided by 1,000 times 5 equals 2505. The 600 divided by 1,000 part is needed because our airflow is 600 instead of 1,000. The value of 5 is used because our EDB is 5 degrees below the table's assumed EDB of 80. Since it says to reduce the sensible capacity when EDB is lower than 80, we will need to enter a negative number. And since we are using capacity units of MBTUH, we will need to divide 2505 by 1,000. So we will need to enter negative 2.505 into the direct adjustment to sensible input. Enter negative 2.505 for the direct adjustment to sensible value. This will reduce the sensible capacity and raise the latent capacity while keeping the total capacity the same. Now let's click Calculate Results to update the results shown below with all the values we just entered. Here we can see that the results show that the selected unit is oversized by 17%. Manual S says to allow up to 15% oversizing and sometimes to allow up to 25% oversizing in certain situations. So this unit may be a little too large or it may be just fine for this project. Let's see what the Manual S report looks like for System 2. Click the File menu, then click Select Reports. Here are the results again for System 2. Now let's return to Rhvac Online and create a third system. In our third system, we will go back to using simple mode, but this time we will use performance data calculated by the manufacturer instead of nameplate data. So let's copy System 1, create System 3, and paste System 1 into it. Now let's name System 3 Interpolation by Manufacturer. Now let's open a new tab and go to the following website, mycarrierratings.com. Click the image to get started. This page lets us enter an AHRI reference number to go directly to a particular air conditioner. Let's return to Rhvac Online and copy and paste our number. Click Display Ratings. Click Performance Calc to go to the performance data page for this unit. Airflow is already set to our value of 600, but we need to change the other inputs to match our conditions. Click Calculate Capacity to display the capacities of this unit at our design conditions. Now let's copy and paste each of these capacities into the adjusted capacity inputs. Since we are showing capacity units in MBTUH, we will need to add a decimal point 3 positions to the left. Click Refresh to make the adjusted values we just entered show up in the above boxes. Click Copy Adjusted to copy the values we just entered into the first row of the interpolation values grid. We can see that the results from the manufacturer's website give us the same capacities as in System 2, where we entered the table values ourselves and did our own interpolation. Let's take one more look at the reports. Thanks for watching.